Thanks for staying with us. Welcome to our sponsored segment. So join us to tell us more about Actionaid. Is a country director, Actionaid Nigeria, Mr. Andrew Mamedu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Many don't know what Actionaid is, so let's even start with what you do at Actionaid and how long you've been working on all your projects.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, ladies. Like they always say, I'm blessed among women. Okay, so Actionaid is a member of the federation. Actionaid is in operations in 74 countries across the world. And in Nigeria, we started operation in 2000, got registered in 1999 and started operation in 2000. And since then, our work is to handle issues of poverty. We believe that poverty can be eradicated. We believe that poverty is man-made. And as a result, if it's man-made, it's about inequality, injustice, and if you are able to deal with inequality and injustice, then you'll be able to deal with poverty. And we've been working alongside persons living in poverty, institutions, organizations, women's rights organizations over the years to look at the deep-rooted culture, value system that perpetrates poverty and injustice in Nigeria. And we've had, of course, huge achievements across board. Our work cuts across women's rights work, good governance, so we're quite big on issues of election, issues of conflict and emergency. We're also big on issues of agriculture. I'll give you an example. So currently we are working with smallholder women farmers, 2 million smallholder women farmers spread across 36 states in Nigeria. And we believe that, so these are the people that actually feed us. Smallholder farmers generally contribute over 70% of the food we eat in the country. So working with the smallholder women farmers specifically, who constitute over 60% of that number, we believe that we would make an impact in the level of poverty. We also work with organizations like the small and medium-scale enterprises, who are over 2 million across the country as well. And these are the kind of organizations we work with. And our work has made significant impact across Nigeria.
Yeah, so I know that Actionaid is implementing a project to give funding to over 100 organizations. Why did you decide to do this? What are your objectives?
Okay, thank you very much. So with Global Affairs Canada, we're doing this project called Women Voices and Leadership Program with Global Affairs Canada. Our heart goes to the people of Canada, the High Commissioner and the staff and their families over the incident, the loss they suffered 2 days ago. We're doing this project with Global Affairs Canada, and it's not just in Nigeria. The project is in operation in several other countries. It was first launched in 2017, and the government of Canada committed 150 million Canadian dollars to fund women's rights work across the world, some countries. So Nigeria was fortunate to be one of those countries. And Nigeria got about 10 million, first got 10 million allocation from RAD grants. And later, during COVID, we got a top-up grant of about another 700,000 Canadian dollars. And basically, it is to tackle the issue of the injustice faced by women. If you look at the demography, if you look at Nigerian demography, before we came on air, you were talking about the deep-rooted culture that surrounds us as a country. So from the east to the west to the north and south, every part of this country, you've got one cultural barrier that hinders women and girls generally. So take, for example, you have about 20 million children that are out of school. Of that 20 million, over 60% of them are girls. So if 60% of them are girls, so naturally you have more of women and girls being the victims or survivors, as the case may be. You have issues of violence against women and girls. 1 out of every 3 women currently in Nigeria have suffered one form of violence or the other. You have issues of economic empowerment of women. You have issue of women participation in politics. So these three areas were the areas that the projects looked at and said, okay, can we make some inroads? Can we make some landmark engagement that would change the narrative around these three areas? And we have been working with, currently we have supported over 154 women's rights organization, women-led. So they are women-led. So it means that the executive will be women, the board chair will be women, and we've supported them over the last 4 years and making an impact across Nigeria.
Okay.
I wanted to ask about, what's your focus, why your focus are only on girls? Because, as a mother now, I have a girl and a boy, and we know that there are some issues that we think affect more girls more, but we're seeing that it's not balanced. Boys are also affected. Why the emphasis on girls?
Yeah, thank you. We recognize that generally the challenge we face in the country, be it poverty, inequality, it's faced by both sexes, both male and female. So both men, both women, both boys, both girls suffer this. But statistics has shown us that women suffer the most. So if women suffer the most, we decide to be strategic and deliberate in our engagement. So our target for this particular program, so it's deliberate and it's strategic. It's about supporting women and girls. How do we ensure that we reduce the level of inequality? I'll give you a very practical example. If you have two persons, one person probably is earning 70 naira and the other person is earning 30 naira, and you want to target equality. So it's natural that you probably start with giving more money to the person that has 30 naira. So the person then comes up, then at some point you then start dealing with issues of equality. So for us, it's about equity. So we start with equity first, which would then lead us to equality. Then if we get to equality, that does not also mean that men and boys do not benefit from the program. They definitely benefit from the program, the policies that are passed and all that. But also, we also work with the men and the boys to look at what their role in dealing with the issues of inequality as well. The issue of gender violence, so most times perpetrated by men. So if they are perpetrators of these issues, so we also need to work with them to look at how do you play your role as a man, as a boy, to ensure that these issues are minimized.
Yeah. So thank you for that response. Usually it's good to always highlight the role that men and boys can play in this war for gender equality. But then what would you say are like the key barriers that impede or hinder gender equality, especially with women also being big voices for this cause, and yet it's something we're still battling with? What would you say?
So thank you very much. So it's our culture, it's our policy, it's our processes. So the system is naturally set up not to favor women and girls. So I'll give you an example. The 3 bills that was taken to the National Assembly, that we had Women Occupy NAS, that was sponsored, that was also supported, actually supported that process, along with feminist and women rights group across the country. So we work together to challenge that. So there are deep-rooted causes that are perpetrated by these systems, the culture, the value, and until we challenge those causes, until it's an issue of power, and we need to turn them around. It's very simple. It's like you want to compete on a 100-meter race, and this is Nigeria. I'm Nigeria. I want to compete on a 100-meter race. And the first thing I do is when the whistle is about going up, I bring out a pistol and I shoot myself on one foot. That is what we are doing. So we want to compete with just one foot being intact, which is the male. Then the female is half ready to compete, support you in that whole process. So we want a stable human being, both balanced, male and female, being able to, these deep-rooted causes that they are cultural, they are in our communities, they're in our families, they are in our religious institutions, they are in governments, they are in our, imagine what we are achieving in women participation in politics. The numbers keep dropping. So imagine the number of women that are participating in politics. Over 80% of the women that went out to contest in the last election were only able to get slots in the small political parties, not about 20% got slots, and of that 20%, only about 3 or 2% got result from that whole process. So clearly, these are structural issues that political parties, government institutions, so it's embedded across board. So from the family to the federal government level, even at international level, there are politics at play at international level that hinders and perpetrates all of these issues that we're talking about.
All right, so finally, how does this project align with broader initiatives on, so I know there's the SDG goals and the national levels. How do we therefore scale this to make sure that it's broader and understandable?
Okay, first of all, women are part of the citizens. So women constitute at least about half of the citizens. So whatever we are doing also contributes to improving the welfare and well-being of women generally. So from the constitution to the budget to various framework that exists, this is supported. We had an ally in the past Minister of Women Affairs who we worked closely on issues of the various gender policies. We have various policies passed at state level, the Child Rights Act, the VAP, Violence Against Persons policies, passed at various state level. So all of those are structural issues that the project aligns with. Actionaid is a member of the development group on gender, DPGG, and we play an active role on that. And we're also part of the strategic group on gender. So all of those are national frameworks that aligns with what the current federal government is doing, what the state government is doing. So we work closely. We are part of various technical groups at state level, at national level, that looks at driving issues that will lead to improvement of women. So we have a village savings and loan scheme that we're supporting across the country. And these are I'm talking now from the local level. These are also things that are impacting on women. Generally, we have, in the last 4 years, we've impacted on over 7 million women, still counting. The project is coming to an end. And I'm happy to announce that the second phase, Actionaid has been enlisted again. Canada has come back again to say we are continuing with, and we are giving more money to various countries, including Actionaid Nigeria.
Well done to Actionaid. It's good to know what you're doing, and just because I know Actionaid has been a part of your success story for many years, because you used to support Actionaid for many years, but I'm happy that you guys are still doing well, and congratulations to the... And
we'll be here we're here working with you guys because, of course, the Women's Rights Program, we just thought, okay, why don't we come to this program to project our voice on it.
That's all we can take on this sponsor segment. When we come back, move on to the next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.